Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sacred Space Coloring Corner for our Let's Color Together video time. I'm so excited. Happy spring, happy Easter for those of you who celebrate the Easter holidays. We are in Easter week, the very sacred energies. And today I offered up two different bunny pages for you guys to color. For those of you who are of the Easter persuasion, we have a happy Easter. Those of you who don't do Easter, we have spring has sprung. We have two different ones, so you guys can choose which ones that you want to color. I was so I got such a joy out of making these little bunnies. It was so fun. So I'm going to color this one just because I'm of the Easter persuasion, and I enjoy. This is my favorite holiday for a lot of different reasons. One of them is because it's spring and the world is coming back to life, and I find that to be a delightful time for me. And I do believe in Easter. I do believe in the Easter walk. I believe in the resurrection, not only of the sacred being called Jesus or Yeshua, but also for all of us. I believe spring is a time of resurrection, of coming from winter into spring. And so I'm doing Happy Easter. And I think I'm going to be using the colored pencils today. You, of course, are always welcome to use whichever ones you want. I love these castle art pencils. I think they're absolutely amazing. I do use these are Cezanne just because I use pink and yellow a lot. And so I like having extra ones so you can buy these ones separate. And they're pretty smooth and creamy. They're not quite as good as Castle. Castle are a really good pencil, but I have these because I use them so much. Um, so let's all take a nice deep breath. You know, anytime we get around a holiday, it always gets a little bit squirrely. There's expectations to meet. You have to, get yourself ready if you're someone who celebrates. Excuse me, if you're someone who celebrates, there's gifts to get and Easter baskets to fill and meals to prep, and a lot of times we're getting ready to have family and it can get kind of stressful, and the world is really stressful too. This week has been crazy what's happening in the world, and so this is our little corner, our sacred little space where we can all sit together and color. um, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to invite you over to my Patreon site, which is called Sacred Space Coloring Corner. And it is free to be on there, and you get the free coloring pages and you get to experience these weekly videos. Sometimes I do miss the videos. Last week I missed. I was just completely, I just completely was not in this time zone. The week was kind of busy. The energies were kind of weird. And I just completely forgot. So I apologize to those of you who love to do this on a weekly basis. Anytime that I forget, please remind me. Please contact me. Please get over there on Patreon and make a post and let me know. Say, hey, Michelle, come up out of wherever that is that you are. I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of that kind of stuff, and sometimes I just get into those beautiful divine energies, and it's so wonderful. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am a spiritual teacher. I teach a lot about meditation and energy and ascension and new earth. I am also an intuitive guide. I am a certified life coach. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, past life regressionist. I do a lot of different things to help people master consciousness, if you will. I believe in spiritual evolution. I believe in the spiritual evolution of humanity, and I believe we're really powerful times right now for all of that. And that's part of where Coloring Corner got created. Is I wanted to find a fun, joyful, non-stressful, stress releasing thing that we could all do together, to get through these times. And so we got bunnies today. We got little Easter bunnies, and I'm super happy. So these ones are really fun because we got the bunnies and we got the flowers all around. You guys know how I love my flowers. I also want to show you, not only do we have these little guys that are the neons. Oh my gosh, I've discovered the neon coloring pencils and I'm super stoked. But check these out. They're big fatties. They're great big huge fat ones. And they've got a blue and a green in there that are really good. The blue isn't really neon-y, because like it's kind of like, how can blue be neon? But at the same time, it's a beautiful color, bright blue. And so those are the colors with that. So we're going to definitely be using those. And so I'm gonna just leave those guys out of the package. I think I'll leave these ones over here. These are a little bit skinnier, right? But they're great. They're great. So it depends on what you like holding too. If you like a thinner pencil, you might want to get the other ones. I got these on Amazon. And again, these ones are called Ooly, Ooly, up here in just Jumbo Brights. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? So let's color, guys. Where are we going to start? I really want this to be a fun, colorful. I'm so excited. I'm almost like I'm afraid to even start. I get this every time, huh? We talk about this all the time. Where it's like I sometimes just don't even want to start because I'm so excited. And welcome to our Facebook user. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I know we're just getting started. I just started doing this just a couple of months ago, got everything set up, and so we're building our community. We're building our space together, our sacred space for coloring together. So I'm so grateful for any of you who are watching live or watching later. If you have not yet printed out your pages, they are over there on Patreon. It is free to be over there. I know I've had a lot of people say, oh, well, Patreon you have to pay for. I'm like, no, you don't. I don't have it set up that way. I have it set up so that it's free, and I keep them on there for several weeks so that you guys can watch the videos, you can get the pages. And then I do put the older ones behind a paywall for my paid people so they have access to all of them. So where do we start, guys? Where do we want to start? And I think I'm going to start with yellow. You know what? I always do yellow. I love yellow. It's a fun color to begin with. It kind of starts out bright. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the bunnies. We have to remember that white is a color, right? So I think I'm going to save the bunnies for a little bit later just to see what I end up doing around the bunny. See what I'm doing around the little bunny. So when we take a look at this, we see several different kinds of flowers, right? You got these flowers, we got these flowers, we got these flowers. These could be a little bit different, right? But here's my theory. Flowers come in so many different colors. Just because we have the same kind of color doesn't mean we have to color all the same kind of colors or same kind of flowers, the same color. I'm always about make this your own world, your own creative world. And if you want each of those flowers to be a different color, go ahead and do it. This is your coloring page. This is yours. You can make this your own world. And that's one of the things that's so fun about art. Unless you're in an art class where you're told to paint that bowl full of fruit, it's up to you. That's the fun thing about art. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to start with this little flower right here. And I'm just going to fill that in. You got to start somewhere, right? And I always find with me, once I get started, then I'm like, whew, okay. Now I'm on my way. And I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I get in why I do that way. But it's okay, It's because I'm excited. I'm happy to be doing that. And so then another thing to look at is kind of where the colors balance the page out too, right? You got a little color here. There's two different ways you can do it. You can have like all kind of same colors on one side and kind of the other colors. You kind of cluster your colors together. But nature is not really that way necessarily. A lot of times nature is a little bit more everything spread out, like God just kind of threw the seeds of the flowers out and let them fall where they may, which I always find that to be fun too. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to color this one yellow too, right? And right now I'm not coloring everything really dark yellow. I'm just putting the color in. We can always go back and go back over, right? And also we add highlights and stuff too. When you add those highlights, it adds depth. Because, when you see a yellow flower, when you look at it in nature, it's never completely yellow. But also, we're not necessarily trying to make all of this look exactly like nature did it. We want it to be like us. If you want your flowers to be magical and unique and wonderful, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. That's what I love coloring with kids. They'll make things whatever they want it to. They're not trapped in that needing to follow the outlines yet, right? They're still in that, the world is their oyster and they can do it how they want to. And I love that. I love that. All right, so I'm going to switch up color. And I think what I'm going to do, where are my orangey colors? I'm going to bring in kind of a light orangey color to this one over here. So you see, it's kind of the same kind of flower, but I'm bringing this kind of peachy orange in. In the castle art, it's called peach. Imagine that. It's going to kind of bring this peachy color in over here. And sometimes when I do this way, I don't even like completely fill it to perfection either. I just get that color in there. I start getting things laid down. Just see how it's going to feel. And remember, especially with colored pencils, you can always bring other colors in and kind of shift and change. Like if I decided I didn't like this peach here, I could always come in and put yellow over it and it changes it. So you can layer your colors and stuff too. Look at that. So fun. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Everybody, you need to have a pencil sharpener. If you don't have a good one, I have an electric one in my other room, and I usually sharpen all my pencils and get them all. And that's really the best way to do it because it sometimes these ones will kind of break your pencils. But this is a good one. This is Prismacolor Scholar brand. This one's a pretty good one. It doesn't break my pencils up too much. So I'm going to turn this. Don't ever be afraid to turn your page. And as we're coloring, I'm going to turn this so I can get in here. Another thing about coloring is because you do sometimes see some of the motion of the pencil in your coloring, it's always good to go with the grain, right? Go with the way the energy of these flowers are going. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to bring this flower petal down here a little bit and bring it out of the picture. And you'll see I'm going to get some black and I'm going to bring it out of the picture a little bit. So it's kind of popping out, right? Just for funsies. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do anything you want to. And one way that we can do that is get your black pencil and just very gently just trace along the out, right? Well, I guess I should get that over where you guys can see what I'm doing. Huh? Look at that. Ta-da! Now your little picture is coming out. It's in acting, I think they call that breaking the third wall or breaking the fourth wall. When you break out of your acting on the stage and you bring the audience in, you begin to talk to the audience, you begin to get connected that way. It's kind of fun. So now we have these other colors here, and I want a beautiful pink. And I have a couple of favorite pinks. I've got this orchid color that I really love to use that is actually called Purple Light. And I love this. It's called Japur pink, a little bit darker. And then I was like, oops. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Can you guys see that? It's kind of the shavings, they're all colorful. I don't know how I can close up on that. I don't have that set up on my thing. I'm doing very rudimentary photography, in case you can't tell. Just kind of basics. I don't want to get all caught up in that. I really just want to play and have fun. Maybe someday I'll get fancy schmancy. But for right now, this is how it is. And it's all good. And coloring is something that's simple and easy. It doesn't need to be complicated. And then the other pink that I love, oh my gosh, baby pink. Doing a lot of sharpening today. And then we have to remember we've got this one too, right? We've got that neon pink. So we got a lot of pinks to choose from. And I'm going to start with some of this pink down here and just coloring some of this in here, getting this pink in here, right? We've got some of these kind of flowers over here, but I'm not going to color them all pink. I am going to reserve for some of the different color pinks. I'm going to get some of these little guys over here in the corner. There's a couple of these little ones that are like almost like little balls with some leaves on it. I'm going to leave those alone right now because I'm not sure what I want to do with them. They might be those ones that are going to be that real bold pop of color, right? They might end up being blue, like a beautiful cornflower blue. Or you can bring something in that's real unique and pretty. So just color in some of these fun little petals here. And even the ones on the same stalk, I'm not necessarily going to make them all the same color. That might be how it is in nature, but maybe that isn't how it is in my little world here. I always love these ones that are like this too, which I kind of feel like these are falling in. This is almost like a lavender, right? You know how lavenders kind of pop up and then they have all those tiny little flowers on there. Just putting the pinks in here. And the cool thing is when you start with the lighter pink, if you decide later that you want one or two of these to be a darker pink, again, we can always color over them, right? Or we add the shading in. And also, if you are watching this and watching it live, please feel free to make comments or ask questions. I'm really hoping that this Sacred Space Coloring Corner begins to create a community of people that are really into coloring. And there's a lot of tutorial kind of stuff on Facebook. And I'm not so sure that I want this to be a tutorial. so much as just a place we all get together and hang out together, where we can all just color together, share our ideas, kind of support and love on each other as fellow colorists. Fellow colorists. I feel like I need some yellow on that other side. What do you guys think? I think we needed that yellow. And I almost feel like I want some yellow up here. I'm going to just put it in here because it's right in the center. Put a little bit darker pink here. This kind of orchid color. This is that purple light. A little bit of the darker ones, the darker pinks too. And this one's kind of that purpley pink. So bring a little bit of purple in. I mean, if I could do all my drawings just purple and pink and blue, I'd be so happy. But I'm feeling kind of like we're going to bring purple up into here too. And I feel like we're gonna get some purple. And also remember when we're doing this as well, the center of the flowers can also bring a lot of fun color to that little flower there. So cute. I want to make these ones. Like even though we've got pink, like pale pink on the same stalk, in my mind, I'm kind of seeing these almost like gladiolas, where sometimes they're a little bit darker up towards the top, or sometimes they're a little bit lighter up towards the top. But I don't really know my flowers that well to know what it's supposed to be. But you know what? In our sacred space coloring corner, it doesn't have to be anything. There's no shoulda, coulda, woulda, supposed to's in our little world here. It's just for fun. It's just for fun. And I love this. And I kind of want to, because I love yellow. Oh my gosh, I love the yellow. And I'm actually going to do like we did on the other one, where we let this little edge come out, right? We're blurring the lines. So we're bringing some of these little petals. I just want more yellow in here. I love the yellow. And because some of this that I do, yes, it's AI. I work with the AI in some of this. Some of this does have that weird AI stuff where they just look bizarre, But we just fill them in. We just color those in. I'm going to color in a little bit darker. These ones right here, especially this one on this side. I just kind of want to see what it's going to look like if we give more pigment. Am I going to like that color there? Yeah, it needs to be there. And remember too, guys, when we're doing this, you don't have to do it the way I do it. If you're feeling like you want these other colors in here, please, please, please feel free to do that. You know what I'm feeling like? These little balls here want to be like another form of pink. Here I am. I'm going off on the pink thing. And this is cherry pink. Yeah. I'm going to make another one over here on the side. See what I'm doing over there? And I'm actually going to make these little balls on here. Is there any place we can bring this color in over here? No, but I do see a little flower down here that I'm going to yellow up. And what will happen too, when we start getting color in like this, right? And we get kind of the basics, then when we start putting in the grasses, we begin to find new places that we can add color as well. So remember that we're still kind of working on laying it out a little bit. So purple. And so for lavender, I don't know if I want pale purple, if I want something that's going to be, hang on a second. My little sharpener is getting full. It starts fighting back when it gets full. There we go. Just want to show you. Sometimes people don't know how to do. I just turn it in there. I try to make like really smooth turns. You can feel it shaving off of there. And it should come out fairly even. So I'm going to put just a little bit of this. Oh, I broke the tip. Darn it. This is what happens when we use these kind of sharpeners sometimes too. Is they're a little hard on the tips. So here, let's see. I just want to see if I'm even want to use this color in here. If I want to go with something a little bit darker. No, that's pretty. I like this. I'm going to use this way because I'm going to use these for what I'm seeing as my lavender stalks over here. So we're just going to get that color in here. Oh, that's so pretty. You guys see that? And do you guys notice how over here where we have the yellow and the pink together, it's very bright. It really pulls your eye over that way. We're going to do some of that with some of our highlighting and stuff, where we start bringing some colors in that really make things pop. That really make things go, woo. Well, let's get the basic stuff in here first. Then we can go back and start popping stuff. And also, we haven't really colored the middle of our flowers there either. And so that's going to bring some new hues in. Look at that. Super pretty. And look at, we've got this up here. We've got this little butterfly up here. So what this is going to do, if we put some peach and stuff in here, it's going to bring the color up. It's going to bring your eye up, and it's going to bring a little bit of balance into this too. So like right now, I'm already, this orange that's here, I'm already wanting to bring a little bit of more pink into it. So I'm actually doing pink around the edges of the flowers, right? And just bringing that in to kind of make these pop a little bit more. Right now I'm just doing it around the edges. A lot of times I bring it down a little bit deeper, but right now I just kind of want to see. Yeah. And we can bring more of this in as we move on. And then what I'm thinking is going to have the center of this a bright yellow. So this little guy up here, we're going to put some of this around it too. And this one I colored quite a bit darker, so we're probably going to go in, and the orangey ones that we did, we're probably going to make those a little bit darker. So we're already getting some of the fun highlighting going. Look at that. And you know what we'll probably do, and I just want to show you. See how we just, when we start, we just kind of put the color in, just kind of see where we want it to be. And then we go back in and then we can color in. We can put more pigment in on this flower and make it brighter, right? So you see the difference. We have a little bit more color. And one of the things that made me realize that I wasn't going to leave these flowers light like this was when I put these in, because this bright, this cherry color right here, it needs to be supported, right, by the other flowers, because all the flowers share in the glory of their beauty, right? So now we've got a lot of color in that. And that's starting to bring more life and brightness over here, which kind of lets me feel like I can put more purple here. Right? So now I feel like, okay, this is going to be bright enough. It's going to be deep enough that we can put this in here, get this purple so that we have the lavender sprigs sticking up here. And so that makes me feel happy. Do you guys feel happy? And it's funny, sometimes when I'm doing this too, I'll color something in and I'm like, ooh, I think that was supposed to be a leaf. But that's okay. It's like, that's okay. Sometimes a leaf can be a sprig and a sprig can be a leaf. And like I said, we don't have any rules here. And something else I kind of want to let you guys know too is over on Facebook, we've got a little community going on over there. And again, we're a new community. We don't have a whole bunch of people. That's okay. That's okay. And you can share your coloring pages over there. So if you'd like to share what you've done, and it's, again, Sacred Space Coloring Corner. And you can share the beautiful things that you're creating. You can share all the fun things that you've been coming up with. And I always love to see what people come up with, I'm going to do this orange right here. I'm going to get around these edges and get this in here. I love to see what people come up with. And I love when people post them on the Facebook page, because then you can see everybody's coloring. And it's so neat because every single one is beautiful and unique and fun. And sharing them a little bit, it's kind of how we get inspired and get ideas. And, we start learning from each other. And because this isn't about, oh, is it perfect? Is it wonderful? Is it the best? That's not even like a part of what this is about. That's not what this group is about. This group is about enjoying and loving and supporting each other and being in an artistic community, that's for fun. There's no competition, there's no rules again. And we do some fun things too. We've done, in the last couple of months, we've done dragons and unicorns and fairies, princesses. We get out in the wild and woolly. and then the fantasy kind of stuff, you know. I love all that stuff. And I love having you guys to color with. I think it's so neat. I don't know how I got the idea to do this. Look, see, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to start bringing some greens in. I'm going to start bringing some of the colorful greens in to kind of give us some grounding, if you will. And I like to use several different color greens. I know a lot of times you use just a nice basic green, like a nice, what I call it, Kelly green or an Irish green. And I say this a lot on the coloring. You know, when I went to England a few years ago, it's actually been probably about 10 years ago now. I could not get over how many different shades of green there was over there. I was driving through the countryside heading north on the train, and my eyes were literally transfixed with all the different shades of green, and everything was so green. And I got really fascinated with green and using green because there's so many different shades of it. It was really fun. It was such a such an adventure. I actually went there by myself. Woo, wouldn't do that nowadays. That was really cool. All right, so let's pick one of our greens. I've got kind of a teal green here. This is called phthalo. I say it. I'm gonna call it Pathalo green light. I've got leaf green. I've got leaf green middle, and we've got castle green light. So we've got three different greens here that we're going to use. I'm going to start with this lighter one. I'm going to start with this leaf green middle, actually. And I'm going to do some stems. Because remember, it's springtime now, right? And so everything is this bright, it's this bright, fresh green. Oh, it's one of the things I love about springtime. And Easter. It's Easter. Because we have all this fresh greenery, right? We have all this beautiful fresh greenery. It's like everything is fresh and clean and beautiful. So I want to get a lot of that in here. And especially in these long kind of sprigs, right? These ones that are coming up this way. So pretty. And that's kind of what I'm going for, I think, with this picture is kind of fresh, like that spring, fresh spring feeling. Oh, I colored something that I think was supposed to be a flower petal. That's okay. And this green, I'm putting a little umph behind. I'm pushing a little bit harder. I'm letting myself have some green in here, right? Oh, I'm so happy you're loving how it's turning out. So excited that you're here. It's so fun. I can't wait to see your picture. I hope that you'll share with us over there on the Facebook page. You know, I use Patreon because it's a lot easier to get the stuff out. Or sometimes Facebook doesn't put stuff out. You know, I'll post things and then I don't see it until 10 days later. It's kind of annoying. Ooh, look at this, you guys. Get all this beautiful fresh green grass. You know, when we're working with when we're working with this, we want to do this, but in here, and actually, I see a little hidden flower. One of the things we start doing this too is we'll start seeing little things that we missed. But getting a lot of this fresh green grass, but we're going to have some, that we're going to allow to be a little bit darker. And you get to decide, where you want that to be. How much green do you want? How much do you want kind of in the shadows, if you will? In the shadow. Who is that that's saying that? It was somebody that you didn't expect to sing. I don't remember who it was. Is that Ryan O'Neill? I was like, oh my gosh, that guy can sing. Look at that. See? Loving it. And I'm using a lot of this, and I'm down here on the bottom too. I'm doing it a little bit rough, right? I'm not following like a really strict line. Just like we're doing with the flowers, right? We're kind of letting it go beyond that edge down there. And why not? Right? Why not? Oh, the little bunnies. Now you can kind of start seeing the little bunnies more. They're so cute. So I'm going to take a little bit darker and just kind of start filling in some of the, almost like where the grayscale is on this. So the parts that are kind of grayish, this is part of what happens when you use the different kind of formats of creating this stuff. Partially it is using the AI stuff, right? And I do AI and then I add things in. I add flowers and butterflies and stuff. So all of my stuff is not strictly AI. But I do use some of that kind of as the starting point. It's a wonderful tool. And I realize it is controversial, and I'm very careful about making sure that what I'm creating is my own, and is keeping in integrity and honoring, because I do see the potential for it being kind of not a good thing. I don't want to get involved in that. But also, it's a beautiful tool, right? It's a beautiful tool for us to use. And now over here, I'm feeling like I want some more of the bright green around this bunny. And I'm feeling like I have a little opportunity for a little bit more of this red here, because I love it. I don't really see any over there. So this kind of thing is kind of exclusive for this here. It's its own special little thing. But I'm also seeing something behind here that could be a flower petal. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I am going to take this little flower petal I missed. I'm going to correct that. So I'm going to bring that color in. So instead of having more green, I'm actually putting more color behind this little cutie patootie. Using the grayscale. And I like coloring over the grayscale, because the grayscale is it's dark. Right? It's dark. I don't want it to be dark. I want to put some color there. So I'm going to turn this for a little bit so I can see a little bit more of the grayscale. And never be afraid to turn your page too, guys. I try to be careful with, so I keep it so you guys can see what I'm doing. But it's important to turn it because you can miss a lot if you're not turning your page and going back and forth. And sometimes what you miss is things that you missed, right? I'm doing a little bit of shading in here with this darker color, just bringing a little bit more depth into some of this here. And not enough that it's going to darken it up. See what I mean? I'm going to show you. Whoop. So we do a little bit of shading. Just follow some of the lines, the natural lines that are in there. See that? Showing that a little bit closer. How this is starting to get filled in. It's getting yummy. And now those bunnies are starting to stand out. And I feel like they're sitting there going, okay, so what are you going to do with us now? Right? They're like, okay, we need to be colored. But part of what I'm doing too is I get in a feel, right? Kind of getting a feel for what's here because they could be left white, actually. They could be because they are really, really sweet and cute. Bring some of it. Ooh, I missed a whole section over here. Do you guys ever do that? All right, get back to work, but we will see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Big hugs. This is a great little break to take from work, huh? That's what I'm hoping. You guys just find a nice little place to just tap in and relax and enjoy, and just for even a few minutes. I love sharing this with you guys. And this is my little break from work too. A lot of times I have coloring stuff around, sometimes even when I'm working with clients. I'll have a little pad of paper and I'll just kind of be doodling and coloring a little bit while I'm listening because it just helps me to relax and to actually listen deeper and working, with my clients. I do some art therapy kind of stuff with clients. A lot of what I do is like intuitive guidance, kind of life coaching sort of stuff. I am a certified life coach. I'm not a self-declared life coach. I actually have certification. I know a lot of people that work with people they are doing life coaching, but it's important to have the certification and the training. There's a lot going on, you're touching people's lives. Look at how pretty these little guys, these yellow guys are going to need some. Oops, ooh, I almost put green on there. I'm going to make these a little bit brighter now. Ooh. This is so fun. We're at 48 minutes. I always want to really respect your time. I know doing an hour is a long time, to sit down, but also a lot of times it takes about that much time to relax, to really get into a beautiful state where your nervous system is actually relaxing and letting go, where you're able to notice your breathing, starting to breathe deeper. That's one of the ways you can know, that your nervous system is beginning to calm down. Ooh, a lot of times when you're starting to color and you're starting to let go, you'll find yourself naturally just taking some nice deep breaths. And check this out, guys. Check this out. I just found something cherry pink. Guess what I'm going to do? These little yellow guys down here. I'm going to bring this cherry pink down here for these yellow flowers. Oh, can we do that? Oh, so we can bring it over here. We can bring it over here. We can bring it in the middle of this one. And it looks so pretty with the yellow. Look at that. You guys are doing so beautifully. Now, let's address our butterfly here. Because we've got this orange down here, I want this butterfly to have orange. And because this butterfly style, how I chose to do this butterfly is I purposely made it kind of that monarchy kind of a color style, right? But what I want to do is I want to use a, a deeper orange, right? Because monarch butterflies have that beautiful deep orange. You know what? Sometimes you'll get a pencil that keeps breaking and breaking, and sometimes that means it's been dropped or that or like the the color part, the lead we call it, though these aren't lead anymore, inside kind of gets broken. One of the things I love about these castle art is I very, very rarely find broken pencils. They package them really well, getting them in this beautiful case. They're protected and stuff. Very rarely. Sometimes it happens because I've dropped them, right? All right, so I'm coloring in some of these sections of the butterfly, and what I'm going to do is I'm getting some of these up here, right? Some of these down here, and then I'm going to bring a little bit of yellow in, right? Bring in a little bit of the yellow, a few of these little parts here. Maybe this bigger part right here. And then I kind of want to bring in just a little bit of pale pink. Just a little bit of pink in there. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to use the black pencil. Where's my black? Here it is. And I'm going to kind of highlight around this. And I'm going to kind of bring some more. So what I'm doing is I'm making this little guy stand out a little bit more. I made him a little bit gray because I wasn't sure what we were going to want to do with him. I'm going to make little antennas, right? And one of the things about these little monarch butterflies is their little edges, right? Or a lot of times a little bit black. So this edge here, I'm going to color in where it's kind of heavier, where it's kind of black. I'm just going to color that in, right? So it's a little bit more black. Now, we think in butterflies, we don't really want black on butterflies, but monarchs have that black. And it's part of what makes them so beautiful. Part of what makes them kind of dramatic is that black. And so I'm going to use that here today. I'm going to use that here today. And then once I kind of get it on there, I'm like, ooh, I like that. So I color it. I make the black a little bit deeper. It's like, oh, yeah, that's working. That's working, right? And you can even do a little bit of highlighting. Do it real light. Do thin lines. You don't have to get too crazy because we don't want too much black on there. But see how that makes them kind of stand out up there? It's kind of flying around doing this little butterfly thing. All right, guys, it's bunny time. What? What do we want to do with the bunnies? I'm going to start with the little pink around the ears. Right? Just a little pink, just around what would be kind of maybe what we would call the fleshy part of the ears, right? Just this inner part of the ear here. We've got a little bit of this on this little bunny and kind of the edges, right? You know, with bunnies, they have fur, but they also have little parts that are that beautiful pink little bunny flesh, right? That sweet little part. Oh, that sweet, sweet, sweet little part that is so it gives us a little. And you know, I'm going to tell you guys right now, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I don't know what to do with the bunny because I don't really want to color it all pink because bunnies aren't really pink, right? But I want the sweetness of the pink. And I want their little eyes to be blue. So I'm pulling in, I'm bringing in the blue, right? And bring that blue in. Gonna bring some blue into their little eyelashes. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I don't know. Let's see if this works. Luckily, if we do something and it doesn't really work, we always have another one that we can print out, right? You guys can always print out more than one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing just some of the highlight, just kind of around the edges. I'm just going to do a little bit of this. And so instead of the coloring the bunny in, instead of coloring that bunny in, I'm not even sure if I'm going to do all of the highlights, right? We're going to give that sense of the Easter bunny, the pink, the Easteriness. Is this going to work? What do you think? I like it. Right? Because I don't want. And these kind of follow the round, like how the fur would go around. These are very fluffy bunnies. And I suppose, depending on how creative you want to be, you know, you could even do some of your little bunnies with yellow. And you know what's something too? I want to put this out there for those of you who have children around. For Easter, if you're having family and stuff over, print some of these pages out for the kids to color. Give them a little Easter. What do you guys think? Does that work for you? I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I'm going to turn this guy so I can get to him over here. Oop, I see some green here that needs to be greened. And down here, this little guy, you're watching it upside down. But you can see his little feet down here, so you can get some pink in there. And you can do as much of this pink as you want. If you want to, if you feel like you want to fill the bunnies in and make them pink, by all means do that. Because I'm a little bit. There's part of me that's like, maybe I do want to color this pink. Maybe I do want this little cutie patootie to be able to be pink because it's pretty now that we're doing it. It's one of the things that's kind of cool when we do it this way. We just kind of do inch by inch, right? We don't commit to the whole thing, but we get it started. And then as we get going, we're like, hey, this looks pretty cool. Little bunnies are smiling. How cute they are. The other bunny page that I gave for you guys too that you can print out. Um, the other page, they're a little bit more serious bunnies. They're a little bit more hardcore Easter bunnies. That's why I wanted to color this one. That's why I wanted to color this one. And then, here we've got little flying things. I don't even know what these are. Look at that. I am going to use our beautiful cherry here to highlight these yellow flowers. Just a little bit. We've got them colored in pretty good. So the highlight is just delicate. It's not quite as much as something I've noticed too is we don't really have any blue in here, right? And so here's another thing too. We've got this like this, and it's very pretty like this. We could very lightly color in a very light sky blue. Very lightly just bring it in between. See how I'm doing that very lightly? And what we're doing is we're not trying to color it in as if it's a solid blue sky. What we kind of want to do is just kind of hint at the sky being there, right? And what that's doing is that's bringing in another kind of level of color because we don't really have the blue. We need to have some blue. We got pinks and purples and yellows. We need to have a little blue. And you can take your blue, make it a little bit rough on the edges here again too. Almost like kind of like a rough picture frame. You know how they used to kind of like burn the edges kind of? And as you get up higher, make your swishes back and forth. Just go really light, don't press down. Bring that up as high as you want to. And it might be a little bit streaky, that's okay. Because the sky's never like solid blue, right? Take that all the way up to the edge if you want. But it just gives it, you can barely even see it on the camera thing here. You know, if you're feeling a little bit bold, you can bring a little bit more of that in. A little bit more blue, a little bit more blue, a little bit more contrast. Also, another thing about the sky is you'll notice when you start looking at it, and also when you look at painting stuff like that, as it gets higher, it gets lighter. So you can have your blue down around the bunnies a little bit deeper, and then have it just kind of gradient out up, so it just kind of moves into white, kind of at the top, right? Just kind of naturally goes into the white. But you can have a little bit deeper blue down here, right? So around the bunnies, you've got a little bit more. Down here in the flowers, you got a little bit more blue. And see how we kind of snuck up into that? We kind of looked at it, we gave it a little bit, and now we're giving ourselves permission to have a little bit more blue. A little bit more blue around our bunnies, outline our bunnies. Let our bunnies be breathing in the good oxygen of the sky, right? Kind of highlights, makes our bunnies stand out even a little bit more, right? Hey there, bunny, bunny, bunny. Right, we can just bring it up. And we can even do just a little bit right around the bunnies, right? Kind of a little bit darker around the bunnies where we see that. Almost a little bit like highlighting the bunnies. Maybe even a little bit around the flowers. Almost giving them like a sky blue aura kind of a thing. Maybe a little bit more around the butterfly. Look at, we're getting bold. Getting bold. And it's okay if you kind of see like the stripies from the crayons. Let me pull that up closer for you guys. Just kind of see what I'm doing there. So you can see that there. Look at how cute those guys are. This is really fun. It's so bright and happy and joyous. So we're a little over an hour. I don't want to keep you guys anymore. We've got all these, and I didn't even kick in any of these, the neon little guys at all. Let's just bring these around some of these flowers up here. See, just when we think we're done, we're not. Ooh. I love this kind of neon yellow, especially when I do stuff that are like the tops of trees and flowers. It's almost like the sunlight is kind of blessing them, you know? It's like this, that's almost like the sun is kissing. We can even do like any of these things that are way up high. We can do some of these leaves, like this little stalk that's hanging out here. Do this over here. And you can't really see it You know what I mean? It's like you can't really see it. You can, but you can't. It gives that wonderful, just kind of nuance of a glow. And I kind of see things this way anyways. I've always kind of seen the energy around things. And so this makes particular sense to me because it's kind of how I experience my world. But yeah, just bringing that. And I'm telling you guys, if you don't have some of these neon little guys, you want to get some. So I'm going to put some around our bunnies here too. The bunnies are getting some neon around their ears. And you guys, these are like $7 on Amazon. So they're not too much. They're not too crazy. Because I had them in my cart for a while. It's like, oh my gosh, I have other things I need to buy. You know, it's like, oh my God, I need to buy groceries, but I really want those. So I was blessed. I had a client that I hadn't heard from in a while make an appointment. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take $7 of what I got from that and I'm going to get those. And I'm so glad I did. I love these. And I use it to highlight in my appointment book too. So they're for work too. I use them for work too. All right. So now we got our blue sky in there. Now we can add some yellow. All right. So tell me, I'm going to show you what I did up high. You can barely see where I put a little bit of yellow highlights around. You see on the outside of all of this. I don't know how close I can get. You can see it over here a lot. Just a little bit around. Just a little bit around the outside. But it kind of brightens it all up. You guys, this was so fun coloring with you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of Coloring Corner, Sacred Space Coloring Corner. Um, and remember, we've got the free Patreon over there. It's where you get all your free pages. And, you know, I have that over there. And I explain this every time because I think it's important. Facebook doesn't put stuff out really in a timely manner. I just think that they've just gotten so big, you know, and they're just processing so much information, right? And I've posted things and it hasn't showed up for a week later. And so when I use Patreon, when I post on Patreon, it's there and it stays in order and it's not going out to a million bajillion people, right? It's just our people over there. And so in creating that community, I can put these pages in there. I can put the videos are in there too. So that I know that you're getting them in a timely manner. I know that you're going to get what, you know, we're going to play with each week. So get on over there and join up, would you? Get on over there and get your Patreon and join up and get the free pages and get the free videos. There, I leave the videos and the pages up for about 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes if I don't get back over there, it'll even be longer. And then after that, they go behind a paywall. They go into the paid tier. So the people that join the paid tier for $10 a month, they have access to every single one that we've done, every single page, every single video, so they can knock themselves out. And so for those of you that are choosing that, there's a lot of good stuff. You know, I've been doing this since about November of last year. And so here we are into March. So there's about 5 months of coloring pages and stuff and fun holiday stuff if you're a Christmas in July kind of a person. So thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for being a part of Sacred Space Coloring Corner. Thank you. Thank you. I love this. And please, you know, share this with your friends. If you're on Facebook, please like and subscribe if you want. These will always, always, always go out there. I do put these on Facebook every once in a while, but I don't put them on Facebook every time for the reason that I just told you. Sometimes it doesn't go out. So if you want to make sure you get everything, get over there on Patreon. It is free. You have those pages up there and you can print out as many as you want. Like I said, get over there, and if you've got children or those that are young at heart or even the elderly are great with coloring. It's so fun to do coloring for a family thing, or like a holiday and stuff like that. You get crayons, you get pencils, you get even markers, and have everybody color a page. Not everybody's going to want to do it, but those that do, it's really fun. It's almost like playing games together as a family, but you create and you have fun and you enjoy. So, again, thank you so much for being a part of Sacred Space Coloring Corner. I am Michele, and I am honored and excited and just thrilled to death to spend this time with you. I hope you all have a happy spring, a happy Easter, a happy any other holiday that's happening here. Um, and we will see you next week. And I look forward to it because this is a highlight of my week. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being awesome and keep on coloring. I love you.